Hey guys, welcome back. Woke up to sort of an annoying situation this morning. My trusty MacPro 5.1, which normally does all my stuff with no issue, is turned on just to a flashing power light. That's a symptom it's never exhibited before. No chime, fans just seem to start up as normal. One of the things online pointed to an issue with RAM. I do have a whole nother CPU tray I can try just to rule that out. But I think maybe it's related to an issue we had the other day where I lost all my PRAM settings. And so that presented kind of a problem because I used the -no compat check bootarg to get into Catalina. So I had to kind of go fumble around in High Sierra, get all that reset. But yeah, just to show you what we're looking at here, I'm going to reach down there and turn it on. And yeah, that's about what it does. You can see that power light just kind of blinking down there. The pink glow is just sort of a USB-powered LED, so that's not really anything interesting. But let me go down there and press the button to get the diag lights on, and I'll show you that part as well. Hey, welcome back. So this is a continuation of my diagnosing a Mac Pro that refused to turn on. So I got another Mac Pro. Actually, this is my CPU, my encoding box. You see the... But so just to confirm, we turn this guy on. There we go. Long wait. Yeah, I don't ever actually watch this, but so yeah, boots all the way to a chime. So we're gonna take this known good processor. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna, it's essentially the same setup, just a little bit less RAM in the encoding box. All right, so the exact same operation, everything's seated properly. We're on. There we go. So yeah, so processor board is fine. That rules out the RAM. That's not an issue there. Well, here we go. All right. So here's what this looks like. We've got Thunderbolt card, Intel Optane PCIe SSD, and RX 580 graphics card. So yeah, so the Optane SSD is actually fusioned with a regular SATA SSD. That's what gets our storage in there. But we confirmed this as a good processor module. That fella down there. And yeah, so looking at the front, it's just the blinky white light. I have previously tried minimizing the system, pulling these cards out, hitting the SMC or CMOS reset button that's under the graphics card there. So yeah, we're gonna have to dig out that try digging out that firmware chip, I guess. Hey, so I spent a little bit of time and put together this clip on a Raspberry Pi 3, and trying to use that to, for starters, read the ROM chip on the board, and figure out where to go from there. So what that looks like, just putting this clip on the board. Make sure it's snug and well seated. And then we'll just fire up this machine and we'll see what it looks like. And power. Alright. So here we are with all that. Plug in here. Alright, so this is an example of Flash ROM. We're going to read a file called temp.bin using the physical Linux SPI, diff, blah 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 blah, and we're going to run at 8 megs, so 8000K per second. And this is what we get. It might be worth checking to see if you have an alternate SPI device. Choose that one. Still nothing happens. And then the SPI speed, 8 megs seems to be pretty safe. In some tests, I was able to read chips as high as like 32 megs. So anyway, I've tried a number of things to kind of get in there. I've successfully read boards and chips, in circuit before. So, this not working. Most likely the board is somehow shunting out, the connection to, shutting out the bus to the chip. I tried one thing here, which was to cut pin 8. That's the 3.3 volt supply. Tried cutting that, see if that would, reduce the load on the chip. That didn't really change anything. What I found actually is that pin 7, which is the reset signal, it was actually being pulled high. There was actually enough voltage on this pin 8 that, that wasn't a good enough. That wasn't good enough cut. So I'm going to patch that one back. Try cutting right here. Looking at a close-up of the board, that seems to be where the 3 volts is brought into the circuit, and then it's used as a pull-up, both on the reset and some other things that I didn't fully test out. But yeah, all that being the case, let's just see real briefly what it's supposed to look like. I've got here, one of those Gigabyte Titan Ridge version 2 Thunderbolt cards that I'm using in the Mac. So if we put this just on one of these chips, let's just boot back up here. See what we get to. It had crashed just because the 3 volts is, plugged in and unplugged in. It's too much noise and interference with the power supply, which is not unexpected. Alright, let's see. Now let's just try that same trick again. We're just going to read it, 8 meg. Bam. So that's what it's supposed to look like. From that point, it probably makes sense to look at the file, maybe run an MD5 sum on it. Get a second copy. Make sure that make sure you got a good dump, so on and so forth. That's easy once you get connected. But alright, well, I think now is the time to do what everybody else said that we should have done in the first place, and that's take the iron to the board and remove that chip. So, I mean, I guess I could have done that first, but it was really a lot of work. Alrighty, let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, it might straight up be a bad chip. Hey, welcome back. Just to recap where we're at, once upon a time, I turned on my MacPro 5.1 in the morning, and I was greeted, instead of a chime, with a flashing white light. So that led to the ultimate diagnosis, bad backplane, specifically, fairly certain, bad SPI flash chip. So I've, been down for a couple days. I need to get back to work. So what I've done here, I've removed a backplane, a known good backplane from my another Mac Pro that I have. You might ask, well, if you've got another Mac Pro, available, why not just use it? The issue there is that I've performed some modifications to the case and cabling of mine to support a high-power graphics card. I believe it's referred to as a Pixla's mod. Anyway, I've had to tap some power connectors off the power supply, and this is a little tiny SATA disk module. That's what I use to boot into High Sierra whenever I lose my Catalina-no compat flag NVRam boot argument. That's power where it gets it from the board over here. Here today, the fan we're putting in there actually is one I've already modified. I've got these Noctua low RPM, low noise fans in there. The stock cooling, I don't know if it was just from age or what, but it was way noisy. So this is definitely quieter than things started out. I don't know if I would do the exact same mod again. Something peculiar about these fans that they won't. It seems like there's a digital control or motor control circuit in there somehow. They won't run below 5 volts, and yeah, there were a bunch of issues getting them to play nicely with the with the MacPro fan control. So they're wound up doing a thing with a diode, a Zener diode in series with 12 volts to drop it down. That's all in the Hey, welcome back. I spent some more time just putting some more of the, put the cage back together, put the CPU module in, and then I did attach the power cord and it chimes. So that's as far as we've gotten. One thing that I did notice, it seemed like maybe I had never finished when I was working on this machine before. I noticed I didn't have a SATA cable going into the optical bay, so I went ahead and ran that. I was not really thrilled about any of the ways that I saw online people doing this, Pixla's mod. And I also wanted to get the power down into the lower chassis so I could run an SSD or this USB card like I was talking about, putting in the mini PCI slot. So I ended up ripping out all of the built-in SATA. It's like one bundled cable from Apple. And then that's where I extracted the power, the 4-pin, where the opticals are powered from that bundle. And then there was plenty of room to fit these full-sized SATA expansion plugs through there. So that, I won't say plenty of room, but it went through there, and then I pulled the just the wire side of this PCI Express harness, and yeah, there's still room. I could get another SATA through if I wanted, but I don't really need that right now. Okay, so yeah, some other things a little bit out of the ordinary. In the stock Mac Pro, there is a PCI Express fan thing. What it does, it sits in here. It fulfills two functions. It's got a fan, obviously. And then there's this terrible slide-in, slide-out method that is used to lock the PCI Express cards in place. Yeah, that doesn't really, I don't really like that. It's never been good for me. So I've removed that bracket here. So that, that function is no longer present here. And I just wasn't getting enough airflow with this stock PCI fan. It's loud and terrible. So that's where I had gone to Noctua and started changing the other fans as well. All right, here's our graphics card, RX 580. And here we are using the big fancy power tab. So this there. I did opt not to install the USB card in the mini PCI Express slot. It does look like it would fit and probably work well, but my needs for this box have changed a little, so that's not as important as it once was. But maybe something to come back to. I did go ahead and connect the USB into that Bluetooth module, because I'm not using, well, A, I'm not using the module, and B, I need the USB port internally to connect to this Thunderbolt card. Now, prior to this point, I've been using USB headers actually run outside the machine, plugged in the back, but now I've got an internal connection that was, like I say previously, going to that USB Bluetooth module. So yeah, here that module, it's worth noting, is has a 3.3 volt port, so you don't want to, the power doesn't do us any good there with 5 volt USB. Alright, welcome back. We're just booted up here. But here I am in High Sierra. Oh, what a nice place to be. What I wanted to do was just to wipe that whole thing out, go into recovery mode, because I'm going to have to set the boot args. So let's go. There's it. NVRam. ResetNVRam equals yupyup. Alright, there's all kinds of information there. Hey. So, did our NVRam in fact get cleaned out? And the answer is yes. So, clearly that is effective. Now I just have to remember, how do we enter recovery mode? Recovery boot mode equals get me there. That's my screen mirroring when I right. Still nice and tidy. Recovery boot mode. Args. Dash B. Dash no. Compat. And having like that, I can now boot back to my desktop. Alright, and my computer is no longer broken, so I'm out. And I will catch you on the flip side. Wherever it is you catch people when they're not working on videos.